Hey everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. I've got another 60 Grassy game for you. This features Andromeda and myself. Andromeda's running a Comet Infection vampire book. It features a new spell, Retribution, which we'll go over. And yeah, just want to give you guys some pointers on how the new spell works. Is it good? Is it bad? How do you use it? And it's an interesting game, so let's get it started. I'm not sure we've seen any sort of book like this, you know, with Comet Infection and Vampire before, but yeah, you guys can try it out in your own games. Maybe it's viable. Well, I can tell you right now, you know, it's not a bad mix. It just, you know, requires a bit of a different play style. You know, you don't have flight, you don't have your prot, you don't have like Dark Knight. You know, you don't really have any of the meta spells. So I open here with the Flash, and looks like, yeah, this is a book where I believe I carry Mega in this book. And he brings out the Sylph, you know, frees the Sylph, good play. Here I decide to tower. You know, why do I tower? Not necessarily for the 75 extra health, but just to block his path. And he makes a nice play, prevents my tower from moving, gets that Frost Giant out, so I'm just looking to, you know, reduce his minion advantage, kill his Sylph. I use the Blast from the Past there, so I've got 3 left now. I don't think he carries Drain in this book, so I could summon the Swarm inside there and, you know, kill his bank. He unfortunately messes up the Snowball a little bit. And at this point I just want to get a prot up. I'm wondering if there were any other options there. Maybe I could have gated out. But, you know, then again, I gate out and, you know, I don't have any minions. I can't really put like a Pegasus over my head. You know, he does have Comet. So I was thinking maybe I'm better off in this little hole here where he can't get me with Comet, and then I can always flash out from the side. Because I am scared of Comet, I do whip out the totem so that I can, you know, clear out some land each turn. And he pulls out his own totem. Unfortunately, I can't do too much about that, but I just want to block off this you know, access point here with the tree. He makes a good play, hops his giant on the tree to free himself. So, and his game plan here is probably going to be to get his vampire out, and then just kind of see what I can do to deal with it. He summons the bank next to him, which is a good play. If you're scared of things like Mega Boulder, you know, Dark Matter Bomb, you can put a bank next to you so that it'll hit the Mega, or the spell will hit the bank and you, and then you'll take a lot less damage. It'll heal you for about 50 or even 60. So I developed a Pegasus here, and I actually didn't think about his idea elevatoring the Frost Giant. Unfortunately, he messes up the jump, but he's still able to get the Snowball off, which sucks. And so, you know, at this point, what turn is it? 12? Yeah. So, you know, I have 35 health on the prot. I'm trying to think, because that definitely was not, I was trying to knock the giant, right? And I failed. But instead of knocking the giant, you know, how bad would it be to obviously move the totem away, right, so it doesn't get snowed on, fly all the way up, and then just put a DK on his head. Maybe put the totem above me, right, to block a comet. or Ice Shield or something. Actually, I don't think I have Ice Shield in this book, but at least like put the totem up ahead, above my head, and then just drop a DK right on his face. Could have been a fine play. I think that was one of my early chances there. But yeah, that missed rain hurt. Now he still has that giant alive, can chuck snowballs at me. So it sucks. And I do leave my totem there, which is not ideal. So just a couple of more subtle mistakes. He summons the vampire here very smartly in the dark, right? Because if it's in the sun, it takes, I believe, 10 damage a turn. Not sure if it says that in the description, but let's see. Can cast, takes 10 damage a turn if in direct sunlight. Yeah, okay. So, the reason why he summons in the dark is so it doesn't take damage, and then the totem just, you know, frees him. And yeah, my positioning is already kind of suspect here. You know, I trap myself with the aura, and now I'm in a bit of a difficult spot. I have to trap that vampire, and I again leave the totem in the snow. Oops, now it's dead. But yeah, I think when I had that moment early to summon the DK, I should have. Then it forces him to teleport away, and you know, if I DK here, you know, where he was a few turns ago, I can elevator that DK wherever I want. Use myself to elevator, so I mean, he would pretty much be losing if I'm fast. I could even get the DK up here, right? I just use myself to ladder it. It jumps onto this hut. I use myself to ladder it from the hut to the castle, and then, you know, get it all the way down here, and I can elevator it down to the side if he teleports down there. I feel like that would have been GG if I did that. But unfortunately, when I do get that tree out, he's able to fit a comet. And you'll see now, yeah, I feel like, you know, he doesn't really have any areas to gate. And when he does gate, then I can just charge him. But actually, it's not GG if I pull out that Dark Knight earlier, or if I pull it out later, or if I pull it out ever, because he can just pop Retribution, which we can take a look at this spell real quick. Over the next 5 turns, enemies that deal damage to you will have 50% of that damage also be dealt to them, still doing the full amount to you. So, if I do 100 to my opponent, 50% of that damage will be dealt to me, and I'll get stunned. The caveat is the damage can't exceed 50 total hit points, so you can't damage your opponent more than 50. But when you do try a charge like Dark Knight, I'm like, oh, like I didn't know that it would stun at this point, so I try to charge and this happens. Yeah. So, like, it stuns me because I take a little bit of damage from damaging him, and then it also stuns a minion. So if you're gonna do a physical attack, like a, you know, charge from a Dark Knight, it literally won't even like go through. It won't even process the attack, because the Dark Knight will get destroyed. So I try to charge there, get stunned, and then on top of that, to add insult to injury, I get flashed off. So I let out a huge sigh, and I get on my alt Discord account, and I go rage in the Discord and make a suggestion to nerf Retribution. So pretty trivial here. What can he do? Lust, Snowball. He could Q and he would still win. Blast from the Past me down, maybe. He chooses to just Snowball. I shield Snowball. And I don't have any Blast from the Past, so I just Tower. And notice Retribution is still going. Also, it's 2 use. I didn't mention that. I feel like that's pretty busted. the fact that it stuns like melee minions like a Dark Knight is busted. Like, they shouldn't be able to counter a minion that can like one-shot you with just one click, like point and click, easy, you know. We call that kind of the rock paper scissors aspect of the game, or RPS. What that means is that, like, oh, if you don't have the right book, or you know your opponent has a spell, then it's as easy as just, you know, one simple click, or oh, you just bring that spell and then it's like a win. Like, there's the game is void of strategy when you take certain books. So basically it just means that, like, your win or loss comes down to a book matchup and not really much skill, right? You know, the term rock paper scissors just comes from the fact that, like, rock paper scissors is a really simple game with not a lot of strategy at all. You know, you just put out your hand in a rock paper or scissors and that's it. So that's what they kind of mean. You know, you're running a generic DK book and you run into someone with Retribution, pretty much, unless they really don't know how the spell works at all, you know, whatsoever. You know, if they're just a decent player, they're gonna win 100% of those games, unless you get really lucky with like positioning, you know, and you're able to somehow like outlast the Retribution. You know, summon your DK way far away, or maybe you don't have a DK book and you just rush them down. You know, force them to kind of make the decision, okay, I'm gonna summon Retribution, or I'm gonna cast Retribution, but you know, I don't know when my opponent is going to charge with the DK, so, you know, try to make them waste it. You know, so I waste a few more turns, you know, just to try to, I don't know, waste Andromeda's time, because, you know, I don't want him to get a fast win. Go to the side there, get infected, aura, and that's GG. So anyway, you can kind of see, again, this spell is a level 2 behind Blood Bank. And yeah, basically it stuns your opponent if they damage you for half the damage that you deal. So you do a 30 damage Drain Bolt, your opponent gets stunned for 15. If you charge with minions, the minion also gets stunned. But mainly with melee attacks, like if you cast a Sylph Arrow, the arrows connect, but the Sylph will get stunned once the arrows hit. So anyway, very interesting spell, pretty overpowered, I think, in its current state. Should maybe be like 1 use instead of 2 use. Or, you know, perhaps reducing the amount of turns that it could last. 5 turns is a lot. So, you know, that's more than enough time to kill a Dark Knight. They just pop Retribution and they're immune to the Dark Knight charge and can just kill it. They can take 5 turns to kill the Dark Knight with only 100 health. So, yeah, pretty overpowered, but a cool new sort of spell added to the mix. It's not really heavily used, except by this Cheese Master bandit, or Andromeda is his name as well. And so, you know, because it's not very highly used, I don't think it's seen a nerf, and there hasn't been an update since. And not many people have been complaining about it, just because it's not highly used. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this this match, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.